In this video, we're talking about the much debated and somewhat feared, if I must say, HR 5300, which was the bill that was introduced. It was an amendment that would give, and it would have granted Secretary of State Marco Rubio broad authority to revoke U.S. passports. And so we're going to talk about it. I'm going to bring you up to speed on what that bill is and the status of it right now. I know you've been hearing a lot about it, but this is a status update and you're not going to want to miss it because it's juicy, it is good. All right, guys, let's go. Hi guys, it's SYNOLVE. How are you guys doing? I'm so glad you're here. I am SYNOLVE. I'm the founder of Black Exodus and ADITA. Black Exodus is a movement to bring our people to Africa and to the global south, the Caribbean, wherever it is you want to go. We're going to go where we are celebrated. We'll no longer stand where we are just tolerated. We're going where our gifts, our abilities, our talents, our genius can be appreciated and developed, and we can build generational wealth. Speaking of generational wealth, I am the founder of ADITA. ADITA is the African Diaspora International Investment and Trade Alliance, and I would love for you to join and be a part of it. And so I'm going to leave the link below. ADITA seeks to build generational wealth. It helps you and your family create and start a business. We know one of the reasons that diasporans are often not able to stay abroad is because of money. And so let's alleviate that by making sure we're working on our investments. We're building businesses and investments, and we're doing trade and doing business on the continent and with the world. It's time for you and your family to be global investors and to be global entrepreneurs. And so this ADITA is the home of global entrepreneurs. Also, I'd love for you to join our Black Exodus WhatsApp group. So I'm going to leave that link below so you can be a part of it. We can chat. We're kind of moving away from Facebook, and so yeah, I want you to be a part of that. Also, I have an email newsletter where I talk about keep you guys up to date. You'll get the information first through the newsletter, and so I want you guys to check that out. I'll leave the link so you can be a part of that. Going to Kenya. We're also headed to Burkina Faso. You know, we're on a Burkina Faso watch, so check out all those videos. So let's talk about this bill, HR 5300. HR 5300. Wow, this is a passport killer. This would have granted, you probably have seen videos, this would have granted Marco Rubio power. All right, it would have granted them so much power to be able to deny, revoke passports for any citizen, for any American citizen. And so there was a lot of blowback about this. Now let's talk about this bill. The original proposed passport provision. Now, if you see me looking down, I'm looking down at my notes. It would have allowed the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, to deny or revoke passports from individuals who knowingly aided, assisted, abetted, or otherwise provided material support to designated foreign terrorist organizations. And so now there were some concerns, right? There were some concerns. Critics feared, like the ACLU and others, many others, they feared that this wording could be weaponized to target activists, journalists, or humanitarian workers based on their speech or political views, rather than requiring an actual criminal conviction. And so the backlash mainly was because many perceive this as what has been dubbed as thought policing. Okay, so in a text, a post, or a video like we're doing here, this would have your ideas, whatever ideas you may have had about a particular ideology or event that was going on, that there would be this thought policing, this policing of your thoughts, of your ideologies, and it would have somehow weakened, many believed, free speech, the freedom of speech, which is guaranteed by the Second Amendment. And so many argued that it threatened constitutional rights, like I mentioned, free speech, and also due processing. And so what is significant about what's happened? It was withdrawal. So Representative Mast, M-A-S-T, withdrew this controversial provision from HR 5300 on September of this year. And so as fast as it went in, it came back out. And so committee action, the House Foreign Affairs Committee held a markup session and voted to report the amended bill, right? So it's amended now with this HR 5300 withdrawn and with the passport language removed. And so that happened. Now, he withdrew it on September the 15th, 2025. And this Foreign Affairs Committee then approved the amended language, the marked up language, okay, that excluded HR 5300 on September the 19th, 2025. And so is there a wider context? Yes, the withdrawal came amid broader concerns from human rights advocates about legislation they believe threatened free speech related to U.S. foreign policy. So this is very interesting, very interesting. This is very interesting because this would have allowed people to have their passports removed or taken away, right? So this bill originally, as it stood, section 226 of the bill, which was, it's introduced as a larger bill that was going to go through and be, going to go through the House and, the Senate. And so it was introduced by, as I mentioned, by Representative Brian Mast he's a Republican from Florida. And it would have authorized Secretary of State to deny or even revoke a U.S. passport from anyone who had provided material support to a foreign terrorist organization, And so without even a conviction required, And so critically, the provision would have allowed for passport revocation based on vague allegations or even lies. And so without a criminal conviction or judicial oversight whatsoever, which is a significant expansion of the existing law. And so this idea of innocent and proven guilt until proven guilty would have been out the window. And so this was called the thought policing bill. Many dubbed it as the thought policing bill. And that this would have been very on a much of a slippery slope for America and its views and its rights within the Constitution for Second Amendment rights for freedom of speech. And so this would have made it very difficult for people to have freedom of speech, to speak out against their own government or students. We've seen how students and other people have been put under a spotlight and not allowed to, have reentry or to have even been jailed in some extreme instances when they have written papers, even when the papers have been in a journal that was through a university, or they have been a part of protests. We've seen how this is, how this is played out. And so this provision is just one small part of a larger comprehensive State Department Authorization Act that the House Foreign Affairs Committee introduced. And so while preventing someone convicted of aiding and abetting human traffickers and foreign terrorist organizations from fleeing the country shouldn't be controversial, the committee decided that it would not allow this distraction to overshadow the bipartisan effort to restore command and control of the State Department to the Secretary. And so as such, the committee will consider an amendment to remove it, which they did. They did remove it from the bill during the markup of HR 5300. So this is how the statement read. This was the statement that they gave. Why does this matter? Your passport matters. It matters because we should have the ability to travel. And as U.S. citizens, we should have the ability of being protected, of having those protections in the Constitution of Second Amendment rights of freedom of speech. And so we shouldn't have any fear to feel like our passports are going to be revoked, they're going to be pulled away. And we're already seeing some of the things that are happening now, with speaking out against a certain person, which doesn't be remain nameless on my channel, because I feel like this. I don't have nothing to say, because when things don't matter and people don't matter to me, I don't have to speak on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, God, once God has already done what God has done, and the Spirit has already done what Spirit has done, what is more for me to say? I don't have anything more to say. Read between these lines. All right, so critics have warned that the new House GOP bill's vague language could have left open the possibility of similar cases of American citizens who were seeking to obtain or already had a passport, where they would make fear that they wouldn't be able to have that passport, or they're, not be able to gain entry into the U.S., or not to, have their citizenship or their passports revoked. And so, who wants to live under that fear? This is, this is very interesting. It's interesting how all of this has played out. And, because of public backlash, because of people standing, now this bill is no more. It has definitely been removed. And so I wanted to give you that update, because there is sometimes a lot of fear that's going on in the diaspora as we move abroad. We want to live abroad, and there's a lot of fear that's going on. And so I want to be not a person of fear, a person of peace. I want to give you hope. I want to tell you the truth, of course, but I'm not here as a fear monger. I just don't think that this is helpful for or beneficial for anyone. I know that you're getting your plans to move abroad. I know that we're all working on the plan that we need to work. And so we don't need to have fear. We don't need to live in fear. We need to walk in peace and know that the Most High is working on our behalf, and that we have a voice and we can be able to speak when we need to speak. But don't feel forced to speak on stuff that you don't want to speak about. You know what I'm saying? Don't feel like you got to speak on every subject and every topic. But there are times, of course, like in the case with the passport, where it just needed to be, addressed, and many people did speak out about this. And now we are seeing that this part of the bill has been amended and has been stricken from the bill, and your passport is safe. Okay, your passport is safe again. Now, I would remain cautious. What do I say? I would remain cautious, which is one reason we're coming off Facebook. Look, remain cautious of what you say, what you're saying, who you're saying it to. If it's something you really want to speak about, you want to talk about, I am not here to stop you. I just know that if your plan is to get out, let that be your resistance. Okay, let your plan to move freely, to get out, to move to another country, let your works speak for you. Okay, let it speak for you. Let your works speak for you, and be unworried and be unbothered about all these other little things that are going on, because we cannot fight every battle, and every battle is not yours to fight. Right? Every battle is not yours to fight. And once we figure that out and learn that, we're going to be much happier as people. I'm having to teach myself. I am so, unbothered in this season, because we have a plan. My husband says this all the time. Work your plan and let your plan work for you. And once, I have a whole video on getting an Exodus plan. Once you have a strategy and an Exodus plan for yourself, then work it and keep working it, and don't let these distractions stop you. Don't let these distractions stop you. There's, like I said, there's a lot out here that's going on about this bill. And so what do you need to do? Keep working on your plan and stay updated. This is why you should be a part of this channel. Stay updated. This is why you should be on the email list, because look, I'm gonna bring you the truth. I'm going to bring you the truth, and I'm going to bring you the updates. I'm not going to leave you in fear. This is the update, okay? The bill is no longer. But I need you to be vigilant, and I need you to watch your footprint on social media. I need you to watch your footprint in text. I need you to watch and be aware of what you're saying and not feel like you need to be a part of each and every conversation. It is what it is. Grown folks, we know. Come on now. And so if there are things you need to speak out about, speak out if that's what you feel like you need to do. But don't feel like you need to be in and a part of every single conversation, because these distractions mentally keep us bound and keep us hooked into a system that we really don't have to be a part of. Okay? What did we learn? HR 5300 is no more. It's no more. It's done. Finale. Okay, fine. So, girl, go ahead, pack your bags, get your stuff together. And, sir, get your stuff together and pack your bags. And just watch your footprint. Seriously, watch your footprint in the things that you're saying. We're seeing what's happening. People are losing their jobs over talking about this one person. Why? Look, do y'all remember when I was a little kid, my grandmother and great grandmother would not let us move when it was thundering and lightning. Because they would say, God is doing his work. And so when God is doing his work, we all sit down and we be quiet. I'm just telling you, let God do his work. Okay, let the spirit, let the divine, the most high energetic being, the energetic field, the universe, let it do what it do. Okay, because we don't have to speak on everything. I didn't understand it when Malcolm X said, when Malcolm X was told to be silent. I didn't get it when I was younger, because I was like, he ought to speak in here. Now that I'm old, what they say? Train a child up in the way they should go, and when they old, they would not depart from it. I get it now. We don't have to speak on everything. Yep, the chickens. They have. They have. Y'all gonna finish that. Y'all know what I'm saying. They have. And so let God work. God is working. Let mother work. Let the goddess do what the goddess does. Okay? Alright, guys. Comment below what you thought about this. Did you know that the bill had been revoked? Did you know that had been amended and it was no longer? I don't see a lot of people talking about this, and I know it needed to be said. The bill is no more. As I said, happier, amazing things. This is more to celebrate, okay? Because God is working. We're headed to Kenya. Also have a trip to Burkina Faso. We're planning. If you want to go, let me know. This is exciting. Also, please join ADITA. I'm going to leave the link below. Become a member and join us over on WhatsApp, on the WhatsApp group for our discussions, and we can discuss and talk more there. Also, we're doing websites, hubby and I. We're helping people structure their businesses, writing a business plan so that they can be self-sufficient and self-sustaining on the continent. Money is one of the biggest issues why we aren't able to stay. But if you've got a business, you've got a trade, you are investing, then you can let those things work for you. It's not just about the Black Exodus movement of getting out. It's about the Black Exodus movement and ADITA movement together of being aligned so we can stay where we are celebrated. We can go where we're celebrated and no longer have to stay where we are just tolerated. All right, I love you guys so much. This is SYNOLVE signing off. And of course, as always, I'm going to see y'all in another video real soon. Bye-bye, guys. I love you.